Zombie apocalypse.
What is going on, you guys? Bastion Weiser here, and I'm here with my man Rob again. We're doing 2 deck of the months for Rob.
Yeah, you guys can't get rid of me.
I know, I can't get rid of this man. We talk literally every day. Yesterday I called him at like 11:30 at night to let him know that I had lost to Paleo in locals, and that's how we're starting this up. How's it going? All right, so
that was a worthwhile phone call. I was like, why is Sebastian calling me at 11:30 at night? And he's like, yo, Rob, lost to Paleo. And I'm like, how? Then he follows it up with the funnier statement of, hey, I lost to Madolce. And he's like, oh, I lost to Madolce. And I was just like, that's even funnier.
But I won against Gravekeeper, okay? That's what matters. Also, before we continue this video, I do want to say Prank Kids that is dead to me. I'm never playing that again. I'm going a different direction. But this is not what this is about. This is about Rob and the Zoodiac. That's it. Shut up. All right, Rob. So what spice you got for us today, my man?
I have Pure Zoo. A lot of people are talking about like Eldritch Zoo, Dogmatic Zoo. Some backstory on me. I didn't get to play this format when Pure Zoo came out with no Draco cards. I missed the format because I messed up my knee and I couldn't go to locals, so I couldn't play this format. So I've always had this affinity to try to play Zoo. But the problem is the 3 good cards were both banned and limited. Broadblow and Dryden was banned, and then Riot was at 1. So when the ban list came around in April that they brought back Dryden, but they hit Barrage, I went through my bulk, found a Thoroughblade, found Rats, found 3 Super Rams, and said, okay, I'm just going to build this deck. And so I was trying it before, and it wasn't that good. It was like not as impactful. But then this card got released. Zeus. This card's pretty good.
It's alright.
So I wanted to try it out. Yeah, I want to try it out. It's great going first. It's great going second. It can play almost every hand trap in the game, which is really good. And it's a 1-card engine. And being that that's a 1-card engine, you can literally see 1 Zoo monster and 4 hand traps, or 4 going second cards, and you're fine going first or going second. And going first, you play around Nibiru because you put up a Trident and 4 summons. But then going second, you just make a Zeus, a Borbo that attacks directly, and then you Zeus, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And you just control the game from there. But to get started with it, standard ratios, 3 Thoroughblade. It's really good to turn 1 because it puts a Zoo monster in the grave for a Tiger Mortar recursion. And if you draw it with Ram, it lets you do the Mega Clops combo, which is another alternate win condition this deck has. 3 Whiptail, it's really good offensively. Banishing cards is always good. And it being a quick play is really cool because your opponent won't play around it as much. Like you have a Ram, like you have a Trident with a Ram under it sometimes. People will swing into it and you're just like damaged up Whiptail. And then sometimes that 400 is enough, but still just banishing is really good. 3 Whiptail. This is really important for the Mega Clops combo, which prioritize. Yeah, Ram, because you loop it. So the combo is basically you put a Ram in the grave either with Thoroughblade or Rat. You summon Chakanine. You summon it back. You make a Trident over the Chakanine, detaching that said Chakanine, popping Ram. Ram brings back the Chakanine. Then you make a Tiger Mortar over the Trident and then summon back the last XYZ and you make Mega Clops. But the problem with that play is it loses really hard to Nibiru and Imperm. So instead of that, I'm just playing around those hand traps by just going normal Ram, making Trident pass. Because this card effect plays around Imperm on Trident, which is really important. And then 1 Rat, it's still really good because it's a 1-card Mega Clops, but it loses to a lot of hand traps. So you can like normal summon it to force something. But then after that, it's not really that good. Like you always want something like a Whiptail, which has an effect, or a Thoroughblade, or a Ram. And then 3 Tenki, 1 Barrage, because these are just Zoo monsters. My deck's not Monster Spell Trap; it's utility. I want to try doing that for deck profiles from now on, just because it makes more sense to me rather than just the obligatory Monster Spell Trap. But 3 Tenki, just extra Zoo monsters. The 100 is randomly comes up just because pushing over certain things is really cool. And Barrage is just Barrage. I think it's the best card in this deck. I wish it was out more than 1. That's
That
it for
card
the Zoo Monster potion. Yeah.
It attacks
What's crazy is
itself,
like
right?
you can play like, huh? Robin?
Like the barrage, if it's popped, like it can be added as a material or something.
Oh yeah. So you pop a face-up card, and then if it's destroyed by a card effect, including its own, you put it under a Zoo Monster, so it randomly becomes a material.
Right.
But you mainly
That's
it's just
nuts.
because you can like normal summon Zoo Monsters, use the effects, eat hand traps, and then you just like cool barrage. Like that's the one downside this deck has, like compared to 2017. 2017, you have 3 barrage, 3 Terror Top, then your Zoo Monsters. So you can go Terror Top, make Invoker, summon a rat, or that eats a hand trap. Or then you go a barrage that eats another hand trap. Cool. Summon Ram. There's a rat in my grave from you, let's say using Thoroughblade's effect. You just combo that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the hand traps, because the deck plays like a bunch. So 3 Nib, 3 Ash, 3 D-Shifter, 1 Pankratops, and 3 Impermanence. So originally, I was not playing Pankratops and Pot of Avarice. I was playing 3 Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. But my deck was starting to lose a lot of recovery. And the only recovery was making Mega Clops, and Mega Clops isn't good. And especially when I'm not playing combo either, my deck had no recovery. So I needed some form of recovery. So I had to put Avarices in my deck. So Mourner was like the least impactful. It was mainly because it worked under D-Shifter. So every Ghost Girl after Reaper says discard instead of send to grave. So Ash, Ghost Mourner, Spooky Dogwood, and yeah, that's it. All those and Bell all say discard this card. So they work under Shifter. Shifter is really good because unless you're doing the Thoroughblade into Megaclops combo, you don't put a monster in your grave turn 1. So objectively, you can Shifter them, which is discard the blowout against like Virtual World is really good. Against Dino, it's really good. Eldritch is really good. Like Prankets and Phantom Knight X is really good. So you can just Shifter them and then just summon a Dryden, detach a material that's literally doesn't matter, and then you have the Dryden for next turn. And then it forces people to pass, and that's when this deck wins because you can make Zeus going second in super simplified game states. And then Impermash and Nibiru are like the most generic hand traps right now. I feel like every deck should at least be playing these 9.
Is there a reason why no Gamma?
I just been like this deck doesn't really capitalize on Gamma. Like when I was playing Gamma and Infernoble, you can capitalize on it because you can make an Omega to rip another card. And you basically rip 2 cards before you commit to your combo, which inherently just rips like 3 cards. And it's not that good going first. Like realistically, all of these cards you can draw going first in your deck and be fine because Imperm's a trap. D-Shifter, all you need is no cards in your grave. So as long as you didn't draw like Desires, Upstart, or had to use Monster Reborn or Barrage, D-Shifter is always live going first. So Gamma is like really awkward going first when you have a Zoo Monster, which you want on your turn 1. And then Pankratops is just like a blowout one of.
Right.
Like his card is just so insane. Just going second, just like it helps out bigger monsters. It deals a back row, which is an issue for this deck. And yeah, but this card's so good. Like I wish you could play more of this card.
More than 3.
Then I play like 6. That card's actually just insane. I play 3 Desires for like the draw power. 3 Desires, 2 Avarice, 1 Upstart. This card's the problem with Avarice is it's really bad turn 1. Like you never really want to resolve it turn 1. Your combo can't resolve it turn 1. It only resolves it turn 1 when you get Nibiru'd. And you should never be getting Nibiru turn 1 because you should never be making Megaclops turn 1 unless you 100% know the deck doesn't play like Imperm or Triple T. Upstart is just like a good variable card I like playing in 41 because it's not always that 40th card. Like I'm playing a 41 card deck with 1 Upstart, which means that this Upstart, so in a 40 card deck, this Upstart isn't here, and whatever that 40th card is always going to be that card. But this Upstart can be a Desires. It could be Shifter's Bag. It could be an Imperm. It could be an Ash. It could be a Nibiru. It could be Tanky, Barrage, Cosmic, Dust. Like it can be any card. It's just not always that one card. So maxing out on like 1 upstart is really fine. 2 hours, because again, you can't really resolve it. And 3 desires is nuts. You can resolve it 1 time, 2 time, doesn't matter. Just all you really need is 1 zoo monster and your engine's just completely live. Like, I don't know if Sebastian saw it when but like I was doubling desiring against him. I was double desiring against Ford. You just don't care as long as you get to see like 1 zoo monster.
As long as you see it, that's it.
Yeah, and then we have some more non-engine cards. Like these are like, this is technically just an extender to play through hand traps. Like if you have this or Barrage, you can basically just normal summon a zoo monster and use its effect like Throwblade and Rat. And then if they hand trap it, you just go, okay, cool, Monster Born or Barrage. So this card's really good. It's also a good way to get zoo monsters back. So you can always Tiger Mortar over another zoo monster and get like a Dryden effect. Then 3 Cosmic, 1 Duster. Because this deck literally just can't deal with like Imperm. Because going second, if they Imperm the Borbo before battle phase, the Glare is really bad. If they Imperm the Borbo before battle phase, then you can't make a Zeus. So you can't attack directly and make an easy Zeus. Like you have to like commit more cards to it. So with that in mind, I was like, I'm just gonna play the 4 most generic blowout back row cards I can, and it helps your back row matchups because that inherently is because it only has 1 barrage, it's super reliant on its normal summon. So we have that, and then 3 strike for whenever you go first. These were originally have been Ice Dragon's Prison. They've been Book of Moon. They've been I was playing Mourner and Bell before. Wait, hold on, my video just cut out.
Yeah. Where you at?
Good.
I mean, it's really dark.
Good.
Oh,
okay, there we go. My bad, guys. I don't know what the hell happened. Yeah, but these have originally been Ice Dragon's Prison, Ghost Mourner. They've been so many viable cards. Like just going first, making a Dryden, having 2 hand traps and a strike is really good. And it's another way to play through hand traps because you can just like go first, set a strike, pass, get hand trapped, then you just like change strike. So it's another called by effectively.
Right.
Yeah, and that's it for the main deck. 41. Yeah, I like this deck. I like the build. The only thing I still want to experiment more with is Ghost Mourners. But the thing I would probably cut is to end up being the strikes, but I really like strike in this deck. So I don't know how I feel about it. But it's still more testing I have to do because this is like the deck I'm actually like playing going forward compared to Paleozoic. I was playing Prankits for a little bit, but I was switching more to Infernoble. But now that Infernoble's like gone, rest in peace. It's I just want to play like a little bit of a better deck. Yeah, I figured out how to make that deck work, but then it became a VFD deck, and I don't like that.
Fair enough.
There was also a Gear-Free Turbo deck, but that again I don't think is that good compared to what it could do before. And then for the most boring extra deck I think I've ever looked at in my life, 1 Dryden, 3 Chalkanine, because Monster Reborn's really good, 2 Tiger Mortar, 2 Borbo, 2 Hammer Kong. So there's only one thing I would change about this extra deck. I would not play this piece of shit. I'd play 3 Tiger Mortar. That's it. Like you want as many zoo monsters in your extra deck because making Zeuses like really thick is like really important. So going forward, I'd probably play a 3rd Tiger Mortar compared to the Gravity Controller. I've literally never summoned this card. Like anytime I'm like, yeah, I want to summon. It was so turn 1. Oh no, it was whenever you can summon a Zeus, you can just put this in your extra, like you put the Zeus in your extra monster zone, then you summon the Zeus, and then it puts in the grave and it clears everything up. It was also for the scenarios where you needed to Avarice immediately, but your opponent wasn't doing anything. So you can make any zoo monster, put it in, like let's say you start the turn with a Dryden in the main monster zone. Mm-hmm. You can make any zoo monster like over it, but put it here, and then you put them in the grave for Gravity Controller. So it made like combo turn 1 live, it made Avarice turn 1 live, but like those cards, you should never just be like making those cards live turn 1. You should be like prioritizing your very simple engine.
Right. Okay.
Going forward, I would definitely play 3 Tiger Mortar. That's the only thing I would like change. Then we have I'm just gonna put that there. Then 2 Zeus. This card's nuts. Like this card's actually just crazy. Like just going, okay, make summon any zoo monster going Hammer Kong, Borbo, Tiger Mortar, Chakanine, Zeus. Cool, I get to send your board twice. And then since you have a whole other slew of Zoodiac monsters, you get to do it again.
Right.
And it's actually just insane. And like it outs Dragoon, it outs freaking Megaclops. Like it's so crazy. Like this card, like so originally I wasn't playing this deck. A friend of mine was playing this deck, and I was like, "What the hell?" And then I read Zeus, and I was like, "Whoa," because I didn't know about this card. Then a friend of mine told me about it, and I was like, "Whoa, this card's good in Zoo." And he tried it. I was like, "Oh, this card's pretty good," but he was playing the Eldritch version, and I didn't. So part of also why I don't like the Eldritch version is because the cards themselves don't cooperate in the engine. It's just that Eldritch doesn't have a good normal summon, so you play the Zoo monsters to get that good normal summon. But outside of that, it wasn't like there was no interaction. It's not like if you played Shaddoll Burning Abyss. It's such a weird mosh posh.
Right.
Oh no, Burning Abyss Monarch. That was the example. So people didn't play those engines together because Burning Abyss is good and Monarch is good. They played it together because Monarch let BA be aggressive because Monarchs have big stats. But BA let Monarch be consistent because you could summon 2 BAs and tribute for a Monarch. So like that hybrid deck fixed the other deck's problems. But Zoo Eldritch deck doesn't completely fixes Zoo's problem of having a bad board, because like on their own, like Sanguine doesn't do anything, or not Sanguine, Conquistador doesn't do anything, Hakuero, and then you're reliant on the Sanguine resolving. Then you have to play Golden Lords, but Golden Lords aren't really that good to draw in Zoo. It's kind of just like weird.
Right, like I got you.
Then yeah, and then 1 Vespanado. This is literally Gaia Charger for level 4 monsters. Literally, it's literally just Gaia Charger. It's you put it over a level 4 monster, and it does piercing. And you can't XYZ with it to turn its summon, so you basically can't just go Vespanado into Zeus. But it has an effect where it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you summon a level 4 from your grave. So if they kill this, you get to bring back a Zoo from your grave, which
So
really
it's a rank 5 that you can put.
Then I already talked about how this card's terrible. Yeah, it's literally just Gaia Charger.
Huh.
Like Gaia Charger is the one that you can put over a rank 5 or higher, I believe. It's either rank 5 or rank 6 explicitly, and it's a rank 7. So it's literally just put over a level 4 monster. And it doesn't have the attack restriction, but Zeus is always just better to make in most scenarios. And then 1 Megaclops. If they can't out it, this card's game. Like the problem is it loses to Triple T, Imperm, and technically Nibiru. Because making it is like 6. Like this is the 6th summon, I believe. It's either the 6th or 7th. Like this, it makes you lose to Nibiru, Imperm, and Triple T if you draw monster hand traps. So, and it's also really bad with D-Shifter, because with D-Shifters, you'll banish everything. So you don't get to like put it back with Avarice or like bring it back with Megaclops. So I don't prioritize this card, but once I know like they can't deal with it, I'm like, yeah, this card is just like, it's a game ender, basically. But your deck can like make it super easily with Rat.
It's not a
and that's it for
necessity,
the extra
but
deck.
it's nice to have.
Again, yeah. I feel like it's staple. It's mandatory in this deck to play the 1, but it's not a priority.
Right.
It's a staple, but it's not like a priority. Like you don't like. You'll make it if you can. I'm sorry, no, you'll make it when you know you should make it. You'll never. Your end goal shouldn't be this, basically. Like that's how I was playing the deck before. Before Zeus, I was like, okay, I need to see Ram in the grave, and I need to see a Zoo monster, and I didn't need to see level 4. So I was playing like Parallel Exceed to like turbo into level 4. I was playing Foolish. I was like trying to make a combo to get Ram in the grave. I was like, I'm literally just making my deck worse. Like just summon Dryden. That's all you literally need to do. Because Dryden turns into Zeus. And Zeus is just the nuts. And then for the side deck, actually like my side deck, it plays 1 cool card, which I haven't got to play ever before. Like the actual card.
Oh, really?
I play 3 Lancia. Yeah, there's a card in here I've never gotten to play before. I've just gotten to play cards like it. It'll make sense once you see it.
All right, go for it.
3 Lancia because it's really good against Invoked Dogmatica because they just activate Invocation. You do this and they can't fuse. It's good against Dino because they can't Misc effect. It's good against Phantom Knight because they can't resolve Rusty fully. No, the only problem with it is that it kind of conflicts with Shifter, but they both do the same yet different things. Like this card just stops like Phantom Knights from putting stuff in the grave to banish. It stops Pranked from going crazy because you can't use the green guy, you can't use Fansies, you can't use you don't get the effects because they have to be sent to grave.
Right. None of them go off.
Yeah. But this card just has like so many other applications. The only time it's ever conflicting is when you draw both. But they're both blowouts in their own self. So it's like you can do this turn 1 and then that'll stun them, and then you have another lingering effect that still hurts them otherwise. But the problem is this is more specific. So that's why I would side this over siding this. But this card's still really good. Then I play 3 Ruler because Ruler Zeus is just insane. You just go Dark Ruler because now that the Buster Lock isn't in the format, you can literally just go activate Dark Ruler, and unless you have a spell or trap, I'm clearing your board with Zeus. Like you literally just don't have to worry about anything. Like I was thinking about playing Mystic Mind too, but I couldn't find room. I just really didn't want to play that card anymore. Like I was trying in a Prankeds build, but yeah, I just don't like that card, so I just didn't want to play it in my deck.
The Mind?
And then Mystic Mind.
Yeah.
Because I hate when people play it against me, so I felt like scummy just doing it against them. Like that, so I was just like, I'm just not gonna do it if I don't have to.
Right.
Like in my builds of Pranked, you kind of have to as a follow-up engine. Then 3 Twin with Reboot. So when you play against monkey decks, you have 9 cards going second to just say stop. Like no. Like Cosmic is good, Twin is good, Reboot's good because you can reboot them and then Zeus them. And then after you Zeus a monkey deck, they literally just can't do anything unless it's Eldritch. But even then, they're kind of screwed out. Then 3 IDP because this card is just insane. But I think Strike is more versatile. But this being a DD Crow is really good against Dino, Eldritch, the Mirror. It's kind of good. It kind of just depends. But all in all, I think this card's really good going first. Then 1 Imperial Order because it's literally just a blowout. And most of the spells you can just like not use. Like you can just realistically, the only time this hurts is when you top deck a Tenki with it. But outside of that, you just don't care about it. Then the last card is Macro. As you can tell by the common, I've never played this card before in any deck.
Okay,
but
that's the one.
yeah. I don't have an ultra rare because I've never played this card. I just have one. So I was like, oh, okay. But I wanted another trap card going first that was good against like Phantom Knight, Burning a like I talk about Phantom Knight a lot because that's a deck that a friend of mine's been testing. One of my friends at work, which I'll talk about my job a little bit later. But basically, he's been playing nothing but Phantom Knight. So I found out like that deck's a really hard matchup because of Fog Blade and the recursion, and as well as Dino and Pranked. Like those are just hard matchups because sometimes Zeus doesn't like. All they need is like 1 to 2 cards to recover. So Zeus sometimes doesn't seal the game. But having a macro follow-up is like really good. You basically have this and 3 Shifter. And I was gonna play Deep Fissure too, but I couldn't find room for Deep Fissure on my side because I thought Imperial Order was better. I thought playing the third of everything here was better, so I couldn't find room for Deep Fissure. Just thought about Soul Drain in the same vein, but again, like Ice Dragon's Prison better, Twin is better, Reboot's better, Rule's better. Yeah, because this is more proactive. Like you can draw this going second, it's really good, and it has a variety of matchups that this hurts. Like, and it's also just stealing a monster too isn't that bad because it's not you don't have to banish. You can just monster born steal a monster. And what's funny is when you play the Zoomir, you're just like, okay, put over his Trident, put over a monster. Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, this is the secondary the deck of the month. I don't know how it's gonna be in the future, but what I think I might end up doing is giving you guys a fun deck for the month and like the actual deck I'm playing for the month. Like the paleo deck is something I play when I want to take like a break from my competitive deck. But this is like the deck I'm playing going forward if like there was a regional tomorrow. Unfortunately, because I'd rather be playing Infernoble. But
right. Which I think they're actually starting the more in-person events. There was a live stream, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, where they're playing in like a live actual duel, but they have like of course the mask and they got gloves on and everything. So I mean, if that's the way we gotta do it, that's fine. I'm still not gonna go to the first few, but once they understand more or less how to get it, or once the vaccine comes out more, then I'm excited to start playing more big events, man. To be honest.
Yeah. Now the only event I'm excited for is the first locals for the store that I am being a part of in the future. Awesome. One of our good friends, me and Sebastian's good friends, is opening up a store in the near future called Game Day in Queens, New York. I'll give Sebastian the information. That way, once the store actually opens, for those of you that are in the Queens, New York, Myrtle, Brooklyn area, you guys can go take a look out. We're gonna have so you know how Myrtle Avenue is so long that it goes to both Brooklyn and Queens.
Yes.
It's literally right in the center. So I was like, you step a little bit too far to the right, you're in Brooklyn, but you go a little bit too back, you're still in Queens.
Right. So I'm definitely gonna go ahead and put links for the Facebook or Instagram page, whichever one is available for Egypt shop, and I'm also gonna put them for Royal Collectibles. If you guys live in the New York area, definitely recommend go ahead and checking out these two locals. Egypt, just like Rob said, is a really really good friend of ours. We saw him when he was first starting out as like a vendor a few years back, and he's grown a lot since then. We're actually able to go ahead and open up his own shop. So definitely go ahead and check out that. Rob's video just disconnected, but that's absolutely fine. Oh, here he is. And but
my video literally died again. I was like, what happened?
I also want you guys to go ahead and check out the Royal Collectibles, which is actually where Rob and I have played together for the first time when we met. And it was my high school actually is right across the street, so it's kind of weird if you guys are interested in knowing a little bit more. It's kind of where I grew up. But go ahead and leave this link in the description for anyone who's interested. Rob, thank you so much for the Zoodiac deck profile, a deck that I for some reason never really understand too much. For me, I when it comes to too combo-y, I'll stay away. But I definitely appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
No problem, dude. I'm almost here. I like talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. If you guys could not tell, I like talking about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Crazy, right?
It's a fun game. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and leave a like for Rob, leave a like for opening up new card shops, more live events, and I will see y'all in the next one. Also subscribe for many more videos to come. Peace.
Yeah, peace guys.